Hi, folks. Really, just on the spur of the moment talk. Hence, just doing this on a microphone instead of having to find my camera and set it all up. I just thought I would grab the microphone and press record and see if what I am feeling and thinking about I can express in some form or another. Okay, and so whatever. I was thinking to myself, it's Wednesday afternoon, exactly 20 minutes to 4 o'clock. Okay, and I'm feeling quite like limited, heavy. Okay, and I'm thinking to myself, why? Is it my thoughts? What is it? Am I maybe a bit tired? It's been a long day. Is it the heat of the day? What is the fact? What is it? Okay, and I try and sometimes tease it apart and work out certain things of maybe why I'm not feeling, I don't know, on top of things. It's not that I'm not feeling on top of things, or I'm not feeling maybe full of life and energy, inspired, or something or other. And why is it? Sometimes I like to think about that. Not that I want to be feeling inspired all the time, but I don't know. I don't even know what I want to feel. I know that I'd like to feel positive and good, and just upbeat, I would say. But more so than just those emotions, I'd like to feel more connected, I suppose. More connected with the bigger picture of things, okay? Not being so sort of watered down and diluted into a Wednesday afternoon in the city, the whole cycle of things, the whole work week, the whole political agenda that's going on in my country, or just worldwide affairs or something like that. In other words, it just I don't want to be disconnected from the adventure of being in life. A few days ago, I caught a plane and I was in another city, well, another town almost, and I went out for a walk in nature, and I just feel like, wow, so connected, whatever that means, connected. And I'm not even caring about the time, I'm not even caring about the day of the week. All I'm just really engrossed in or involved in is just the adventure of the hike that I was in. Okay, and so much of that sort of energy, I would say, that vibration. And now for myself, I'm back, and it's Wednesday, back in the city, back in my house, back in the chores that I need to do, back in the job that I need to be doing, whatever it is, my responsibilities. And just again, also the city of the energy, which I grew up in this city, and how calculated everything and how sort of disconnected everything is, and how, like, again, how we are just cogs in the wheel, hey? Like when you're out in nature and you're coming across other people, you meet one another in a way, to a certain degree. But in the city, who are you meeting? Who are you really meeting? Everybody's in a rush. Everybody's got the world on their shoulders. Everybody has to be somebody somewhere at some time. Everybody's got massive amounts of worries, massive amounts of stress, and not only that, but they cogs in the machine. They just and that, unfortunately, that's the way it is. But we're not. There isn't a freedom, and the more time I think about this, the more I realize how unfree, if that's a word, we are. When we're living in the city, when we're living in the jobs, when we're living in the work week, whatever it is, it's like we are slaves, Neo. In a world of bondage to a certain degree, and and what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily good or bad. Sometimes it is despairing, but at the end of the day, it's not something that I want to really be too much associated with, if you want to put it that way. Like, I don't want to be right now limited to being in the city. Like, I'd love to just go and climb a mountain. But you know what? There's no mountains around me. Okay, there's no nature around me for about at least an hour and a half drive. Okay, I mean decent nature, or that's out of the city, where I can get to a point where I don't feel that it's Wednesday anymore. That I don't feel it's like 3:30 in the afternoon or something, or 20 to 4 or something like that. I don't feel that energy anymore. And so it's very hard. I don't want to be dictated to by the rhythms of culture or society, especially the one that I live in, like Monday morning and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and then the weekend and whatever it is. Or sometimes it's a public holiday, or sometimes it's Christmas, and sometimes it's Easter, and this is when you can feel a bit more jovial and joyous and whatever it is. And these are times you've got to really buckle down on Monday morning, and I can't care for that stuff. I don't want to be in the narrative. I don't want to be in the rhythm of man's calendar, if you want to call it, or whatever it is. I don't want to be in it. And you know what? I've had to spend my whole life in it, in a way. And this is what I reflect back when I think of school. Hey? School was just, for myself, it's a prison. right? It was a prison, and a heaviness, and such. What I mean by prison, I mean, if you understand the word, it's like you are not free, you are restricted, okay? You are not able to utilize or engage in that which you really wish to be doing. You are cut off from that. In other words, it's a beautiful day outside, but you are in your classroom. It's a beautiful day. It's the first day of spring, okay? But you're having to sit in class and listen to some boring teacher speak about something that you're completely not interested in. And if you show that you're not interested in, then you're going to get in trouble. If you show you that you're not interested or you don't care, then you're going to be in trouble, okay? Then you really, so it's in your best interest, in a way, for the ego to push you to say, yes, Mrs. Johnson, I'm very interested in this Bunsen burner. I'm very interested in 1887 when this guy arrived on the shore, whatever it was, and I'm really interested in that. Okay, I'm I don't know, or something. But you got to show that you're interested in it. And you got to go home and do your homework, and you got to be passionate about it, and you got to pretend that you are really passionate and you love it. Okay, and you're excited for the next day to start, and you're excited to, for your exams and to do well, when you're not at all. And so what I'm saying is that, like, what I couldn't manage in class was to actually put on a happy face and convince everybody that I was having a great time at school and I absolutely loved it, and I couldn't do it. And I had this one friend in my class, a guy, won't mention his name, but let's just say his name is David, or Dan, Dan, let's say. And Dan, just a guy who was straight A student, never cracked a joke, never was late for class, never was a day sick, and his uniform was always well kept or whatever it was, and he was always sitting up straight at his desk, and he was just the teacher's pet, if you want to call it. And I thought to myself, man, Dan, you're such a sellout. Like, come on, surely you can't be excited. Like, he was excited when we had like exams and tests and whatever it was, and he was also like melancholy when it was school holidays. He would say, oh man, it's the weekend and I have to, like, I just felt he was such a liar. He was just lying. And I never got to chat about him, but I just couldn't stand the sight of him, because I felt, look, maybe he did enjoy it. Right, but maybe he represented everything that I wasn't, and everything that my parents wanted me to be, and my teachers wanted me to be, and I just couldn't be it. And here he was, and he just seemed like, it was just, he was in heaven in a sense. He couldn't wait to get home and show his parents, his straight A's. For myself, I wouldn't even take my report card home. I would, just try and trash it or somewhere, whatever. I don't know. It was horrible. Anyway, folks. My point being is that, like, for myself, I remember sitting in class, and it seemed like, and I just wanted the bell to ring so I could go out and go to my neighbor's house and swim. We never had a swimming pool when I was growing up, but my neighbors did. And so I would look at the sun, and then the clouds start gathering. I said, no, it's going to rain, and I wasn't interested in the class whatsoever. I was just watching the clouds and seeing how they were, like it was going to storm. And I thought, well, there goes my chance of swimming and whatever it is. And I could be swimming right now, but I'm stuck listening to Mrs. Johnson or whatever it is, and the whole story, and how this is supposed to be the most important years of my life, in a way, what you've been led, all life. Anyway. Not only that, folks, but the bullying that went on in my school, it was a prison. Anyway, besides the point, what I'm saying is that how do I manage to feel good about myself in those kind of environments, right? Being in school, how was I supposed to feel good about myself? How was I supposed to feel excited about life? How was I supposed to feel connected to nature and connected to the mystery, and to feel like life was an adventure? I didn't feel that way. I felt it was drummed out of me. I felt it was I don't know, something in my imagination, whatever it was, or whatever, or like sometimes it was just maybe things that happen on TV, when I would go home and watch a little bit of TV, and I don't know, like the Never Ending Story or something like that, I don't know, and this kid was on this massive, amazing adventure, or like I'd watch Spider-Man, the cartoons, and he seemed like he had quite a cool life story going on in a way. And so it was for everybody else that lived the free-spirited life. It was Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, where his parents left him by himself and he got to do whatever he wanted to do, and the whole story. And it was just in the movies that really it seemed that people were free. Okay, and I would obviously, if vicariously, I would live through the characters on the screen. Didn't, you know, but so for myself, like, which was also an illusion, but like for myself, it was just, that's how it was. That's how school was, and it never got better. You know, and like after school, I thought life would be great. I thought all my friends, we would just go and travel the world, and you know, whatever. I don't know, would have romantic relationships of all sorts, and I don't know, we'd just be together, and you know, it would just be playtime in a way. Okay, or adventure would return. The adventure would come back. And you know, it wasn't like that at all. My friends went to university and they all got degrees and they got girlfriends and they got married. And for myself, I never finished any of my degrees at university. Okay, I never qualified. And then all my friends got jobs, and then, you know, there was no nightlife or social life anymore. That kind of went away. And we kind of went, you know, I'm not shelling it all, basically, obviously. I mean, but anybody in their sort of later 20s or mid-20s knows what I'm talking about, or 30s or 40s, or anyone from beyond that age knows, you know, in a way. And so for myself, like, that was it. It was like, it was just back to work, you know. As school finished, it was never over. It was just, you know, now taking on the responsibilities a lot, which was necessary to do. But what I'm saying is that I just think we all became the most perfectly well-rounded slaves and prisoners, if you will. I really feel that. I mean, in a nutshell, I really think that school was a big part to play in a lot of our conditioning and a lot of our, I would say, traumatization in a big way, and a lot of this disconnecting from the mystery and the nature of life. I feel it in a big way. I feel it made us boring. I think school it took away our individuality, and it made us boring. It made us mundane. It made us despaired. Okay, it took away some of the greatest years of our lives. I think life is good in all years of our lives, actually, but some of the funnest and times of our life, I think school took that away. I think it did, and I think no one talks about it. And I think what's happened is that we're a society that's been conditioned by school for the first, 16 years of our lives or something like that, you know, and no one really talks about it. And we all just send our kids off to school as well, and which is fine. I'm saying we have to do to a certain degree, but why? We let the mystery disappear so quickly. And even if our kids are off to school, I don't have children, but at least on the weekends, take them out into nature if you can, if you have nature around you. Talk to them, I don't know, light a bonfire somewhere in your back garden, just sit around, take away the TV or the cell phones for a moment and just connect with the higher, you know, the most high and whatever, you know, the mystery, for crying out loud, the adventure of life. Don't let them just become another, you know, brick in the wall type of thing. I'm saying for kids. But anyway, that was it. And so for myself, I look around now and I feel this heaviness of Wednesday. And what is that heaviness? It's still the school calendar, folks. It's no difference now. Most of the people that I'd like to, maybe, not that there's many, but everyone's at work. Okay? I'm self-employed in a way, but everyone's at work. Okay? Everybody's rushing around, like I said, in the city. No one's actually present. Everybody is just robots. They're automatons. And they don't even know it. Okay, so there's no connection for themselves to the mystery and to the adventure. And there's no connection to nature. There's no connection to one another. We're all just salesmen and customers and clients, you know, and whatever. That's all we are. Okay, that's all we are. We're just running around mindlessly, aimlessly, and we don't even know that our lives are slipping us by, and we're not getting any healthier, and we're not connecting in any sort of spiritual conscious form to one another or to our greater being, our greater truth, or the higher truth, whatever it may be, to existence itself. Right? We've been cut off from that. And so what I'm saying is that, folks, is that if it's during the week and you're stuck at work, or you're at home, but you know you're in the city, and again you get what I'm saying with all of these points, and I could probably go on for ages and speak about it, like in our own way. Each one of us, as free-spirited people, I think can feel often very limited and often very restricted by the world that we live in, the culture that we live in. I think we really can feel that way, and I think we should be honest with ourselves and say it's not me. Okay, because remember, I was convinced that I was told that there was something wrong with me by not being interested in school and not wanting to get good grades and whatever it is, and trying to, I don't know, rather peer into the changing seasons out from the the classroom window or something like that, and there was something wrong with that, or whatever it is, And so what I'm saying is that a lot of the times we are self-critical, or that we feel that there's something wrong with us just by being honestly in expressing, or what I'm saying, allowing ourselves to be free in the free spiriters that we are. Like, we don't realize it. We've been conditioned to actually not allow ourselves to appreciate our uniqueness, or our different needs that we may have, our different interests that we may have. Okay. And like what I'm saying is that, so that's the heaviness, is that there is some kind of prison or matrix still that's going on. We're still part of it. We are becoming more free in our being, in our mind, but our physical flesh in many ways, and our environments are very much still prisons in a sense. Okay? And so what I'm saying is, it's not good or bad, it is what it is. But the point is not to lose the adventure of life, not to lose the call for spirit, the call for adventure, call for the mystery, call for self-discovery, self-actualization, for a higher purpose. Not to lose that, okay? Even in our mundane Monday morning blues, on the way to the office or something like that. Got to make life an adventure. We've got to connect with nature. We've got to try and connect with one another where we really can, and we have the opportunity to do so. Alright folks, just a ramble of mine at this time of day. I do appreciate you taking the time. We'll chat soon. Take care.